Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning for this morning's Active Maps Tools for Ports and Harbours webinar. We'll start off with a little bit about me and 3DO. So my name's Ian Thompson. I've got 15 years experience of selling SaaS products into various industries, including construction and infrastructure, haulage and logistics, manufacturing and oil and gas. 3DO, let me just go to the next slide, 3DEO. We help combine mapping and 3D visualizations of both the environment and the data. So we're headquartered in Belfast. I'm actually based in Newcastle upon Tyne. We provide a single window on asset, environmental and operational data, and we integrate with all of your systems, sensors and IoT devices. We're able to allow you to look at live data, historic data, and because of that, you are able to identify trends and monitor change over time. All of your data, information, assets, site, they'll all be visualized in context on a map in 3D, and it's browser based, so it's accessible anywhere. So this morning's webinar is called Tools for Ports and Harbours. So I'm going to go to my browser window now, and you will see a data set of a harbour. And it looks nice and colourful. It is over a map layer, which I've chosen to be a satellite. Within our system, you're able to change your default map layers as you see fit. So you're able to visualize your estate, your port, your harbour, however you wish. I'm going to leave this on a satellite mode because it looks quite good. Now, obviously, I can't control what's coming in and out of the harbour this morning. The first thing to say is that if you are using some kind of AIS technology, we are able to visualize and show you on a map where the vessels are entering and leaving your port, and you'd see them coming in and coming out. We've visualized berths in colours, so the user is able to identify what's free and what's not, because if there was a ship in there, you would see it as in this case, it would be a red ship-shaped polygon. This particular user has created a digital twin on the estate using our technology, and we can see where they've mapped their bollards, where they've mapped their CCTV cameras, and where they've put things like air sensors as well. Or in this case, a wind, something that's measuring the wind. You'll also see here that we have larger polygons, red, yellow, and green. And if I turn everything off for a moment, you'll see that they aren't physical structures on this particular estate. They are 3D visualizations of what is in those warehouses. So it tells you how full they are. So it's a rag status. If I hover over, we can see this particular warehouse is 100% full of wheat. Another part of the warehouse has 0% capacity. It has 100% capacity. It's 0% full of soya pellets. So it's just an easy way of people being able to understand capacity versus utilization in their warehouse environment, and they've done that across the estate as well. So we can see different silos. These ones are cement, again telling you how full they are. And these visual aids just help people who are responsible for loading and unloading ships, helps them understand where they can put things. The other thing that this particular person wants to be able to do is visualize what will be coming in or leaving the port. So again, on this fully customizable table, it's usable by and viewable by people like shipping agents, by the pilots, harbour police and things like that, as well as the harbour staff, so they can see what is coming in and what will be leaving the port. Yeah, hopefully you can maybe see there, maybe if I change the map layer, there we are, we can see that there is a polygon now in that shipping berth. So somebody can visualize that there will be a ship in this berth at this particular time between 7 and 8 o'clock on the 27th of March. So let me come out of that browser window and we will go into another one. So this is more of a mixed use harbour. So not only do they have traditional harbour operations going on, ships coming in, ships going out, but they also have an element of tourism and things going on the estate that people may wish to interact with. So much like on the other site where they mapped mapped bollards and things like that. These guys have mapped things like buildings that are interesting to tourists. So if we click on one, it brings up a window and it can tell the person viewing a little bit more information or show them photographs. So in this case, we've got one photograph. I click on another one, do a load up one with, it's got a number of photographs and things like that in it. So again, we are able to put on things like URLs, so we can link through to that organization's website. If this wasn't a building, if go back to being bollards, it might be that we want to upload inspection notes, things like that, upload attachments. If we've noticed some damage, we could take a photograph, we could upload that and hold it against the record of the bollard in its locational context on the map. I said right at the start when I introduced the platform, the type of data that it integrates with, we talk about live data, and there's no better example of live data than CCTV cameras. So on the map, we've got in context where those cameras are, and then we're able to bring through the live feed from those cameras as well. If I just turn the camera off, we'll reopen a different one. This camera is not going to load up a video feed. I'm doing that on purpose, but I'm going to press the toggle visualization button. And on the map here now you can see a purple triangle. And this triangle is the field of vision of that camera, so you know which way it's pointing. Held within that purple triangle are a number of other shapes in 3D, and that is the data coming off the machine learning element of the camera. So this camera has been taught how to understand what is a person walking past, what is a car driving past, and what is a bicycle. So we're able to present that data back in 3D in context on the map of where it's actually happening. As we move along, we can open up an air quality sensor. And what we're able to do is bring through the data at a user level in its live form. Now, that's what you can't get with a lot of these GIS platforms because they're being used by data scientists and GIS specialists. You want to know something now, typically you're having to go and make a request for information. By the time it comes to you, it's late. Our system allows you to get that information yourself live. The other thing that the system can do, if I press the historical data, it'll bring through the data for that sensor across a period of time, which allows you to identify trends, things like that. So we've got one telemetry stream in there. All of the telemetry streams that are coming off that particular sensor are available to us in here. So again, the user can populate that themselves, so they can look at whatever they want, and they can do it over the period of time that they want to see. Now what we're looking at here, these green cylinders, they are Meraki access points. I think they're Cisco Meraki access points, and they send out signals. And what they're doing is they're looking for mobile phones. And the mobile phone, if it receives a signal, will ping a signal back to say that it's there. And this allows the user to understand how many people are currently on the estate and whereabouts they are dwelling. So it can be used for a number of things. Maybe it's just to watch flow through of people. Also, if you've got a large event on, you could use it instead of having cylinders, you might want a heat map, which will show you where people are dwelling, just to make sure that you're not over capacity or people aren't grouping up in too bigger spaces together, too smaller spaces together, sorry. Now on this map platform, we can do lots of other things. We like to describe it as Google Maps Plus, because we're also able to bring through data that you're used to seeing in Google Maps. So for example, you might want to put on a traffic layer. It shows you where the traffic is busy and where the traffic is not. And also things like weather, which again, useful if it's a tourist environment like this one is. People might want to plan their days and might want to understand what the weather's going to do. So that's a whistle-stop tour of our platform and its capabilities around ports and harbours. So now that you've seen it, I'll tell you a little bit more about how it works. What we do is we integrate your data from various different sources. We are totally sensor agnostic. So as long as something is capable of talking to us and ideally telling us where it is and feeding us all those data streams, we can integrate it into our platform and we can visualize that data in its contextual environment on the map. You've then got the ability to analyze that data. which I hope you saw that we can do. So we can bring the data up live, or we can show it over time. And one thing I haven't shown you there is that the ability to communicate that data easily. There's a few things we can do. Obviously, you can export some of your data if you wish, but you can have dashboards that people can view and interact with, but can't necessarily change the data or anything in there. And that can all be role-based permission as well. So certain people can see certain things. You might have a very public-facing dashboard where you want to show, I don't know, weather and webcams, but you might not want to show air quality, and that can all be achieved in our platform very, very easily.